Hi everyone, wanted to welcome you back to a new live stream of the Nerds Roundtable Ustream video broadcast. Sorry, sounds a little redundant, I apologize. Hope everyone had a good Christmas. I know I myself had a pretty good amount of fun. Went back to my parents' place, and while I was there, there's a new store in their mall that is a Lego store. I know, sounds pretty cool to me. When I was a kid, I had tons of Legos, played with them all the time, built all sorts of crazy different adventures. But what was really cool about this store is that in addition to the traditional Legos they had that you could buy either pre-built or in boxes, they also built custom stuff. Some of the stuff I saw, for instance, was a couple Vipers from Battlestar Galactica. They had the Viper Mark II and the Viper Mark VI, I guess it is, which is the newer versions that were used in the series. It was really cool. It was really neat to see how people had just come up with the idea of how to build it themselves, and now I kind of want to build one of my own. So we'll see what happens there. If I do that, I'll include some pictures, put them up on the website for you guys all to see. Um, Stuff I did over Christmas. Ended up seeing the new Family Guy Star Wars spoof, the something 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 Dark Side. One note on that, I really enjoyed it, but I really hate the fact they released it the week of Christmas because it made me have to go out into public and buy things at Walmart three shopping days before Christmas. Needless to say, the lines were ridiculously long there, but I guess it was worth it in the end to be able to actually get that video and go home and watch it. I thought it was a lot of fun to watch, partly because I'm a big Star Wars fan. Empire Strikes Back is one of my favorite movies. I think a lot of the humor that came out of that came from the fact that if you'd watched the movies, you knew what was coming next, and that made it absolutely hilarious to you. Of course, if profanity is not your thing, you might not want to watch it. There's a few instances where they drop the F bomb, but most of the time, it's pretty dang funny the way they play it off, especially the scene. My favorite scene in the thing. Spoiler alert for those of you that haven't seen it yet is in Empire Strikes Back. Han gets carbon frozen and given to Boba Fett. He has the line, Princess Leia proclaims her love for him, and he replies, "I know." Well, it's different in this movie. It's different, but it's funny, and it's also profane. As Lois, as Leia proclaims her love to Han slash Peter, he looks at her and just goes "fuck off" as he's going down to the carbon freeze. Honestly, I thought it was hilarious just because it was so random, and plus profanity generally makes me laugh, I'll be honest. But something 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 Dark Side, well worth seeing. It looks like we'll be getting the Return of the Jedi parody also. One of the special features in the something 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 Dark Side DVD was a table reading for Episode 6, which correlates to Return of the Jedi. Honestly, I can't remember what the title of it was. I will find out, put it up on the website so that you guys can see. I mean, that was my big complaint with something 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 Dark Side though, was that it came out so close to Christmas. It required me to have to go be sociable. If you guys are watching any TV tonight, here's the big thing I would say to watch. Mythbusters is doing a new set of mini myths they're going to test. One of which is going to be the Gorn cannon from the classic Star Trek episode called Arena. If you're not much of a Trekkie or you don't know the episodes, things like that, this is the episode where Captain Kirk gets stranded on a planet and is forced to fight a Gorn warrior. The Gorn are the giant lizard looking people. In order to defeat the Gorn warrior, he ends up making his own cannon out of diamonds and a rudimentary gunpowder inside hollowed out bamboo. What the Mythbusters are going to do is see if that's actually possible to build a cannon like that would be able to take down a person. If you guys haven't seen it, they made a really funny trailer for the Gorn cannon myth. I've got it up on the website, but basically they've got the B team dressed up as different characters from Star Trek talking about it. It's not Jamie and Adam, so don't go on there expecting Jamie and Adam to be talking about that. Now, the big thing for me was on Christmas, went to go see Sherlock Holmes in the theaters. Continued a quasi tradition of kind of skipping out on some of the big things at home, going to go watch a movie with my dad. I thought it was a really good movie, but I was just shocked how packed the movie theaters were on that day. There were tons of people in my showing of Sherlock Holmes, the first showing at 3 p.m. I mean, there were barely any open seats left in the house, which really surprised me with something like Avatar being out. That being said, Avatar did win the box office again this weekend. I still have to go see it myself, but I really wanted to see Sherlock Holmes first. I'm glad that I did see Sherlock Holmes. I thought it was a great movie. We're going to have some content coming up on the website about Sherlock Holmes, but the big thing here is they're trying to set it up so they can have their own movie franchise all about Sherlock Holmes and Watson and their adventures. I think they've done a good job of setting that up. It's a very minor spoiler, but throughout the Sherlock Holmes movie, they hint at someone big pulling the strings, and at the end they start talking about Professor Moriarty, who is Holmes' archenemy in Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's books. And it seems to be hinting that if they get to do another movie, it's going to be Sherlock Holmes going up against Professor Moriarty, who's described as being just as cunning as Holmes, but infinitely more devious. Needless to say, that's going to be fun. One of the things I really loved about this movie, Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock Holmes is amazing. I mean, I'll go down on paper saying I think Robert Downey Jr. is an amazing actor. Enjoyed his work in Iron Man, enjoyed his work in Tropic Thunder. I really enjoyed his work in Sherlock Holmes. It's over the top, but not so over the top that you don't like it. It's very similar to Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow, where he goes over the top and then somehow reels it in at the last second. Of course, it also helps that Jude Law plays Dr. Watson, who's basically the straight man to Holmes in this. Who, when he starts to get a little loopy, gets a little wacky, he brings him back in line and starts moving the plot along again. Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law, I think, had really good chemistry in a buddy type environment. You can tell that the characters they're portraying, Holmes and Watson, the two men really do care for each other, like brothers, but not by blood, of course. And they genuinely seem to enjoy themselves. I don't know whether this is because the two actors got along real well or not. If they didn't, credit to them because they made it seem like they're the best of friends during this movie. Sherlock Holmes is a lot of fun. I completely suggest you go and see it. Um, One of the big things I really enjoyed about this one is also a big fan of House, and House is a takeoff of Sherlock Holmes actually, or House is a correlation to Holmes, and Watson is a correlation to Wilson. Um, House, like Sherlock Holmes, is a drug addict, a little different with House, of course, but they're both the same brilliant mind that comes up with these great ideas out of nowhere. And then Wilson's this man that keeps him grounded, that somehow is his friend despite House or Holmes' eccentricities. We're going to be putting together a post that just talks about how much we enjoyed the parallels between House, Sherlock Holmes, both the movie and the books, things like that. I mean, they are derived from each other, so of course there's going to be similarities. Those were the big things I wanted to talk about. We got just a couple updates. If you've been following the site lately, I am doing a guest blog spot for my friend Tom Baker on his blog, The Morning Erection. Not going to give you too much information on it because I want you guys to read it on his site, but on January 2nd, the topic of the blog, I'll give you guys that much at least, so that you know the title of it and I can attract your interest, is Battlestar Galactica, the best show on TV. This is going to be my argument as to why I thought BSG was the best show on TV when it came out. I still think it is, despite uh, the week ending to the second half of the fourth season. Excuse me, I couldn't talk there. It seemed like at that point they started to barrel along way too fast on what it is they were doing. Nevertheless, I still think it's a great show. Some of the other stuff that we've got coming out this week, well, a couple funny YouTube videos I've picked up. And all fairness, just want to give you guys a heads up. This week is also going to be a short post week because of the holiday weekend. Friday being the new year, I will not have posts going up. We will instead do two updates on Monday and Wednesday, and I'm going to try and toss a couple updates on Tuesday. Well, an update on Tuesday and an update on Thursday. Maybe that will, excuse me, make up for the lacking on Friday. I can't guarantee that's going to happen right now. I'm a little busy, having a little hard time juggling stuff around, but I'm committed to trying to make this website work, so I will try and have those up. No big news elsewise in TV news. We're still waiting for the new seasons to start. Most of those will be starting in mid-January. First thing to start up, really, from what I can recall, is Chuck Season 3. We are still incredibly excited about that. I know I'll be watching the 2-hour premiere on Sunday, followed up by the 1-hour episode on Monday. I believe it's January 10th that starts. Well, that's all I've got at this moment, guys. Just want to thank you guys for checking out the live stream. At the same time, if you're new to us, you just stumbled upon us, I really encourage you to check out the website. We link to it in the profile we have on Ustream, and it's nerdstheroundtable.com. We talk about everything nerdy, basically. And if you have any interest in potentially doing a guest spot, maybe having a recurring column, let me know. Leave a comment, preferably on the website, and we'll try and work something out. We're always looking for more people to become involved. Alright guys, thanks for checking out the stream tonight. Have a good night.